we're about to do an overseas training mission as a unit. And I had one of my specialists, which is an E-4. He came up and he kind of expressed some concerns. And earlier in the day, we just gotten this brief from battalion about this new program that they're doing to kind of help alleviate some of the burden of commanders and have like mental health be more of a battalion thing. And so this kid's kind of telling me what's going on, and I'm like, oh, and there's a few things like, so he's not suicidal or anything like that, but he has some concerns, and it's kind of tied to him going overseas for this training mission that we're about to do. And so I'm like, well, perfect. We just talked about this in our command and staff. Like, hey, here's Major so and so,
Yeah.
and I go back to my business with my first sergeant, and then a little while later, the major comes in and he's like, "Oh, Captain, like we gotta do a command directed behavioral health evaluation. Like you need to pull him off the Korea mission, this and that." And I'm like, I feel like this is totally sending the wrong message that this kid trusted his commander and first sergeant to, with these concerns, and then I pass him off to someone else, and then now this battalion level dude is saying like, "Hey, you can't do this, you got to do this," and just I feel like that's exactly the kind of thing that destroys the trust of soldiers in their leadership and destroys trust in the process of dealing with these different concerns. And thankfully, my battalion commander was really big on, company autonomy. And he pretty much said, like, hey, it's your call. You're the commander. Buck stops with you. And ultimately, I said, hey, like, I asked this specialist directly. I said, is it going to be worse for your mental health if I pull you off this mission that you're looking forward to doing? He's like, yeah, absolutely. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to send you still. And then just when you get back, let's do a little more follow up. Okay. And it all worked out. I assumed a little bit of risk doing that, but it just kind of like there's different ways to do things. And the way that was initially presented to me was I just saw it as totally problematic, and just that specialist would never trust his chain of command again if it went the way that it was originally recommended. And I'm really appreciative that my battalion commander gave us that autonomy and wanted us to make decisions and be leaders in that sense. And I just, I'm glad that I had the ability to make that call. And like I said, there was a little bit of risk,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the net product would have been way worse if I had gone the alternate route.
Yeah, and I think that's not only would it be like a negative experience for that specialist, but obviously everybody else in the unit would find out about that, right? Or be like, oh, why isn't Greg going on the deployment? Blah blah. It's like, oh, they pulled him because he actually spoke up about some mental health stuff after this major brief that they were talking about how they're trying to improve it. And then that just only prolongs and continues that stigma, right? Where it's like you get a brief saying, "Oh, we'll take care of you, battalion level now. Any mental health concerns, come to us. We want to take care of you, right? We're all family, the whole thing, right?" And then you actually speak up, raise your hand, and then it's like, "No, you're not going on this deployment." Where all that you do is you train, you join to go on these deployments, and that's what you want to do. You want to go do your job, and then like everybody else is going to find out about that. And then right away, they're going to be like, all that work and effort they put in, that major brief, now we don't trust you. It's all bullshit. It's all a can of worms. And nobody else is going to raise their hand and reach out, in my opinion. So I'm glad to hear that you had that call and you can go to that specialist and be like, keep it to me straight, like take the rank off, whatever. Like, is this going to be worse for you if I don't send you? And he or she says yes. And it's like, all right, taking the risk. And then obviously probably talk to the sergeants and staff sergeants and be like, monitor this situation a little bit.